All right, what is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, go by Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. We have two-game Champions League slate on Tuesday, opening up the round of 16. It'll be an interesting one. Very, very lineup dependent in the PSG game. So we'll be breaking that down. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, like this video. It really helps. Subscribe to the channel. Comment if you want an answer or just shout out. It all helps. All right, let's get to it. Both games are pretty much pick 'em. Milan is like slight favorite over Tottenham, and PSG and Bayern is a true favorite. Let's start with PSG and Bayern because that is going to be where a lot of the ownership and the quote-unquote better plays are. We'll start with PSG since they are the home side. Everything's going to come down to the run. Just this morning, this is being taped on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Messi and Mbappe have made the squad. Neymar is fit. I think that Messi is a lot closer and more likely to start than Mbappe. Mbappe might be kind of like a quote-unquote decoy that that Bayern has to prepare for. Maybe he gets to sub on. I don't think he would start. If Messi and Neymar both start, I think that's your forward options. There's only like two other forwards I could actually consider in like optimal building. And that is Kane and Leao. I'm just not a Sun guy right now, and we'll go over that in a minute. But if they're in, I think Messi and Neymar just are easy to split set pieces. They'll be two of the three best players on the pitch. Home game. I don't really think I need to describe why Messi and Neymar are good plays. If you don't know why, then you probably shouldn't be playing DFS soccer at this point. Maybe do a little bit more research. But yeah, that's how it would go. Now, here's the funniest thing about PSG. Once you get past the big three, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and Mbappe's not going to be here, so when he's not in, it's only the big two. They soak up all the DFS-ness. Like, whether it's Bernat playing on the left, whether it's Nuno Mendes, who I don't think is fit. I think it's Bernat. Hakimi on the right. None of them are super DFS viable. Hakimi is okay. But in this game versus Bayern, I don't see the fullbacks being able to push up a ton because it should be very, very equal possession. So really all the DFS goodness is out of the front three. And no matter who subs in for Mbappe, assuming that Mbappe doesn't start, it's not going to be like for like or even close to it. So just Messi, Neymar, move on. If there's no Messi, then Neymar's a lock everywhere because you take 100% set pieces and everything would go through him. So that is the PSG side. On the Bayern side, you can just auto-click Kimmich. He didn't play the weekend over the weekend due to a red card, so he should be fresh. Take some Monopoly set pieces. He does sit a little bit deep, but it doesn't really matter in this slate where there's only two games. Like if there's like a 6 or 7 game slate, maybe you could have a debate about do you need Kimmich? How does price fit in versus upside, all that stuff. It doesn't matter in 2 games, especially 2 games without a lot of options. Kimmich is a lock. Now, if you want to be a little bit more contrarian, especially if you think PSG is in really bad form. I don't know if you had seen the video yesterday, but all the fans showed up to boo them on the training ground. That's a great look for a team winning their domestic league and the round of 16, like to be booed by fans. Not great. So, Bayern could just come in and be a buzzsaw to them. If you think that's the case, at forward, you got a couple options. Sane has been meh, okay. Muller, okay. He subbed that off at half on the weekend after scoring. Choupo-Moting revenge. I'm never going to be a Choupo-Moting guy, but he's scoring plenty. It'd been a lot more fun if Sadio Mane's fit, but he's not. We have Musiala. And then Gnabry, unfortunately, is mid. Or is he forward? I can't remember now. All of a sudden, DK is switching the eligibility on everybody. Definitely has years of them being like midfield forward eligible screwed up in my head. So I probably have to commit more to memory on these previews. Or look a little bit longer at the positions. But, all those are in play. Gnabry after Kimmich, probably my favorite Bayern piece. Just does a lot in terms of drawing fouls, crossing, that type of stuff, and shooting. I can see Sane catching some steam. Sane's actually been kind of rough for DFS and really more goal assist dependent. But yeah, go from there. Cancelo has been really good for Bayern. since coming over from City. I definitely consider him one of the better defenders on the slate. Although I'm like now questioning, and I can't like do this during. I can't remember if he's in the Champions League squad because he's already played for City. I think it's okay, but debate that. Dang, I really should look at that. My apologies on it. I'll put in the notes if he is or he isn't. Like literally as I'm saying it, I'm like, dang, I'm not 100% sure. But he and and like potentially Davies left back. So all just depends on what the lineup is. The good part about tomorrow is we'll get all the lineups. We don't have to like get staggered or worry about that type of stuff. So that'll be nice. Goretzka, I think, is really interesting for like a low-owned pivot off of some chalk in midfield. Goretzka's a guy who just always shows up and gets points. He can show up for goals, but also gets tackles, fouls drawn, all that stuff. So he's not a terrible play. Okay, let's go to the other game. Tottenham going to Milan. Two of the most perplexing teams probably left in the Champions League in their own domestic leagues. Milan, former champions of Italy last year. You wouldn't know it by how they're playing. They're playing absolutely terrible. And then Spurs, sits at home, beats City, and then goes and gets clobbered by Leicester. Nothing makes sense. I'll just say this. Milan being at home, I think it's a big deal. I think Spurs are likely to play very negative football. That's how they like to play. Very much on the counter. So does Milan, funny enough. I just think at home, Milan's going to have a little bit more to stand to gain. So I think Theo Hernandez will start out as an easy lock on the slate. Like, I think that the first three clicks for me, assuming they're in, are Messi, Neymar, and Theo. I guess Kimmich in there too, so there's four. First four clicks. Oftentimes plays like a left wing back, sometimes it's left back. He's insanely attacking. And not in the traditional sense of like tons of crosses, although he can take some corners and can cross the ball, especially when Giroud is in. He just gets forward a ton. Is very much a goal threat. So yeah, he's not expensive either. Easy to fit. The whole entire slate is very, very soft in terms of pricing. So yeah, like Theo, most of the sets should be Tonali. Tonali normally splits with Benacer. Tonali is the better of the two. He's only 6,100. I think he's pretty easy to fit, especially if you're pro Milan here. So those are the two that I like the most. Benacer is fine for a salary savings if you need it. Right back, Calabria doesn't cross isn't nearly as attacking as Theo. And Rafael Leao, insanely talented forward, could cause Spurs all sorts of fits. If there's a guy that I think is going to cause issues, it's him. And then Giroud is certainly a play for GPP goal. I like correlating him with Tonali or correlating him with Theo Hernandez. I mean, that's certainly a play. That's about Milan. Spurs, I mentioned this earlier. Son is in probably one of the worst forms I can ever remember him being in since he's been a routine starter at Spurs. Give me a second, I need a good drink. Lose my voice. Not only is he not like a great DFS asset right now because he's lost a lot of sets to Perisic. Hell, Perisic took from the other side too over the weekend. So Son has lost sets, and he's just not playing as well off of Kane. Kane's like the only consistent thing that Spurs have right now. All this being said, I could give all this like reasons that Son isn't a good play, and he could make me look like an idiot. But if you just go purely on form and the fact that set rule is gone, he's just not really making the grade for me. Kane, I can totally see showing up, having a big game. We know we're going to get the PKs. Kane just always kind of gets points. You could say about Son previously, but Kane's 4 at this point. If you look at the last 5 games or so, it's much better. He'll drop deep, get on the ball, make passes, go from there. I think Kane's a solid play. He's away, though. I think there's better forward options, but I certainly can't call anybody an idiot that plays Kane. The best floor on Spurs is Ivan Perisic, taking majority sets, playing like a left wing back. I don't love him, but I think he's very, very in play. So yeah, that's about it. And then Pedro Porro, I saw one analyst say the single worst debut ever for a Spurs player. He's much like I should have done my research before getting on. I did for some research. I did the wrong research. He also is already playing the Champions League with Sporting. don't know if he can play. I think both he and Cancelo are fine, but I'll have to double check it. But even if he's in, I don't think you can touch him after that terrible game. Spurs is just tough. Spurs is tough to target. So anyhow, that's just going to be the slate. I think that, the chalk way to attack the slate is going to be, assuming it's Messi and Neymar, it's going to go Messi, Neymar, Kimmich, and Theo Hernandez. And then, look from sets from there. I think PSG and Bayern is a much more attractive DFS game than the Spurs and Milan game is. I think Milan is a great GPP team. I don't think a lot of people will be on them because they're in the worst form and they're playing Spurs, who's, a recognizable team. And everybody's just going to spin up for those big names in PSG and Bayern. So that's a really good way to GPP it. If you get like 2-0 type of game, you could be printing some money, especially if PSG, Bayern is like 1-1, and you can just grab those goals with your stack. So that's how I'd attack it. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, look at the comments for the details of the video for the Pedro Porro and João Cancelo piece, because if Cancelo's in and starting, he's a really, really nice play tip. So, all right, I will put that in there. Thank you guys for watching. I will see everybody on tomorrow. We'll be recording Wednesday's 2-gamer and probably at halftime of the games tomorrow. All right, so look for that. Thank you guys for watching. See you.